And this is also a CNN News 18 exclusive news break. The United States intelligence community, in its annual 2023 threat assessment report, has claimed that possible Pakistan-India confrontations along the line of control, like the one in 2021, are of major concern for the United States. The report warns that there's a risk of potential escalation as well, and this is more probable, reportedly, given the attitude of New Delhi's current government vis-a-vis Pakistan's alleged support for anti-India groups. Now, the report also admits that Pakistan has a long history of supporting anti-India militant and terrorist groups, and each side's perception of heightened tensions raises the risk of conflict, with violent unrest in Kashmir or a militant attack in India being potential flashpoints. This is what the report has stated. We're crossing back over to CNN News 18's Anand Narasimhan to get us more on this. Anand, as per the report, how significant a threat is this, and how will this impact our army's movements on the LOC?
Well, the point is that if there is, one of the aspects is that the Kashmir narrative is what has allowed political establishments in Pakistan to save face. They do not have much to talk about internally across their various provinces, with 2 or 3 of them on the verge of balkanization, be it Balochistan, the Sindhu Desh, and also what's happening in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. So if there is a big attack which happens on Indian soil, the political establishment will subtly claim victory and fan sentiments in flames, and then again talk about and ratchet up the Kashmir narrative. But again, the intolerance to terrorist attacks on Indian soil under the current establishment in India has only gone up. So the retribution is stronger, harder, and faster, and India will not back off from punitive measures. So this report says that if there is a terrorist attack on Indian soil, India will not just cross the LOC but go deep into the Pakistani entrenchments and wipe out these Tanzeems once and for all. So this has been a call that a lot of Indian citizens have expected out of the government, saying, all right, after Balakot, what have you done? And if you're wanting to secure Jammu and Kashmir, if you're wanting to secure our soil and our territory from these Tanzeems who are increasingly upping their build-up along the LOC, we've got imagery, we've got proof that there are hundreds and hundreds of these terrorists trained in these camps who are waiting to come into India. So if there is some kind of an activity in India, India will respond. And that's what this report very clearly says, that there could be immediate escalation. And war or a conflict or retaliation is something which the Pakistani army currently can ill afford. One of the other ways to look at it is that if India does respond with punitive measures and does strike at these jihadi tanzeems which are operating and their camps which are on Pakistan-occupied territory or on Pakistani sovereign soil, what will happen is that Pakistan will find a reason to try and get out more bailouts and some doles from countries which are sympathetic to its cause, and make a case that we need to fight a war against India because India is attacking us, so give us more money. So it's a double-edged sword that we'll have to deal with. But the U.S. intelligence report also saying that Tanzeems like TTP and also Tanzeems like Al-Qaeda, who are operating in Afghanistan and on the western side of the Pakistani frontiers with Afghanistan, they are also doing their realignments and resetting their equations. So all these groups are active. All these groups are just lying low or waiting for an opportunity. So, but they say that the point of conflict or escalation is most likely along the line of controls between India and Pakistan.
Absolutely. Anand, one more follow-up question for you. The report also says that Pakistan has a long history of supporting anti-India militant and terrorist groups. This is something which, of course, is not a secret. It's in open fact as well. In fact, just a few weeks ago, we even saw the Hizbul chief walking on the streets of Rawalpindi, and he was accompanied by Pakistan's forces.
Well, this is what it is. The report is saying alleged support for anti-India groups, and then says long history of supporting anti-India militant and terrorist groups. The report is openly saying. So if the U.S. knows that Pakistan is supporting terrorist activity on Indian soil, then what is the U.S. doing about it? So clearly the U.S. in the past is guilty of trying to fan the flames and also allow Pakistan to get away with these kind of anti-India activities against the sovereignty of another nation, just because the U.S. thought that Pakistan was strategically important to it vis-a-vis Afghanistan. Now those equations have changed. So will the U.S. now take punitive action, and will it look at the fact that Pakistan and declare Pakistan a terror state? Because this report openly admits that Pakistan is supporting terrorist groups that are waging a proxy war against India. So if that is the case, then this makes for a serious case for Pakistan, sanctions against Pakistan, or for it to be designated a terror state. Now, the Indian government and the MEA now has to decide what its counter strategy diplomatically is going to be. Will it raise this report and will it further call for sanctions and action against Pakistan is one aspect. The other thing is that there are a lot of elements within the Pakistani establishment, political, military, and otherwise, among the civil society, who have had enough of these fundamentalists because they are also destroying Pakistani society. They are also corrupting the current generation. And a lot of people in Pakistan don't want an atmosphere and don't want to be labeled as jihadis or a terror state wherever they go. There is no value for the Pakistani passport, and for a lot of people who don't subscribe to this among the Pakistan civil population, they do not want this kind of thing. So there are many who want these tanzeems to be done away with. So they have reared these snakes in their own backyard, and now they want them to be exterminated or done away with. But how can they do it? How can they do them away, or how can they be done away with without having too much of a political or establishment-wise impact? Is something which a lot of strategists in Pakistan are also wondering. So how a solution is arrived at towards eliminating these tanzeems and these fundamentalist groups is another way of looking at it, another perspective.
All right, Anand, thank you so much for joining us for these breaking developments and for providing us with that crucial information. Now we're going to be shifting focus